improved version of Audi's 4th generation A8 isn't an obvious choice given new arrivals in the segment for boardroom level large luxury saloons, but there's still much that the right kind of customer might really like about Ingolstadt's elegant flagship sedan. It's now smarter and sophisticated enough to please the most demanding boardroom buyer.
Whatever your variant of choice, in driving an A8, you always tend to feel that you're only really scratching the surface of what this car has been designed to do. The drive dynamics in particular are quite surprising, although throughout the sheer weight and width of this car will never be very far from your mind. The exemplary refinement though is easy to appreciate, well at least it is at speed. Audi says that this A8 is the quietest combustion engine car it's ever built, although it doesn't feel that way when you're standing next to an idling TDI variant. The 50 TDI diesel is still the version that most customers choose. The 3-litre V6 offers 286 PS and pretty frugal returns, 40.4 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 184 grams per kilometre of CO2. The mainstream alternative is the 55 TFSI petrol model with 340 PS, which also donates its 3-litre V6 to a 60 TFSI E plug-in hybrid variant, which puts out 462 PS and which can offer a 30-mile EV driving range. The last option in the range is the one that we're trying here, the S8 Super Saloon, which has a 571 PS 4-litre twin-turbo V8, which uses the same 48-volt mild hybrid tech that you'll find in the two conventional V6 models. The S8 gets dynamic all-wheel steering, an upgraded version of the usual A8's 8-speed Tiptronic auto gearbox, and variable quattro 4-wheel drive, supplemented by a rear sport differential, which constantly varies the amount of drive that's being sent to each individual rear wheel. All A8 models get adaptive air suspension, but the S8 gets a cleverer predictive setup which uses a camera to scan the road ahead as you drive. 20 years ago, this is a piece of styling we'd have been gasping over, a progressive and sophisticated vision of how the moneyed elite would travel in the 21st century's third decade. Today, we're a little more used to futuristic styling statements of this sort, but the 4th generation A8 still looks technically advanced, handsome and imposing, if not classically elegant. Particularly perhaps in this improved form, which gets a package of exterior changes, nearly all focused here at the front. The base of the signature single frame grille is now wider, and in place of the previous horizontal strips, it now features these little tick-shaped chromed features across its grid. The side intakes are now upright and more overt, and the LED headlights now have restyled integrated illuminated strips, and they can be specified with the brand's latest digital light technology that we've been trying here. Size matters in this segment, so at this 4th generation model's original launch in 2017, Audi made it longer than its predecessor. Even this standard version is 5.19 metres in length, and the alternative long wheelbase version is 130 mils longer still. Audi's done its best to give the rear end a bit of a sense of zeitgeist too. An LED light band incorporating an embedded chrome strip extends across the entire width. It looks distinctive, and now as standard includes the company's organic light emitting diode technology using 4 ultra thin filaments which bear the Audi brand rings and put on a dramatic light show whenever you arrive at or leave the car. We'll take a seat at the wheel, pausing on the way to notice that the door handles are all operated by micro switches that require just 5 millimeters of movement when you go to use them. Get comfortable here, and we can understand why some executives might still prefer the cool, confident Ingolstadt vibe in play here. Yes, the interior of a rival Mercedes S-Class or BMW 7 Series feels higher tech than this, but is it really more luxurious and opulent? Well, we can understand why you might think not. Audi's not made any obvious changes as part of this update, but none were really needed. You're going to need to like screens because this cabin incorporates no fewer than 3 of them. The 2 you'll notice first, powering up as soon as doors opened and dominating the upper and lower parts of the piano black trimmed centre stack. The gently curved upper 10.1-inch display deals with the most important radio, media and telephone functions, and it's been improved as part of this update with more intuitive voice recognition and media connectivity too, now served by faster MIB3 software. The lower 8.6-inch monitor, meanwhile, is reserved for more comfort-orientated, mainly climate-related features. Both monitors interact with the configurable 12.3-inch Audi virtual cockpit instrument binnacle screen that you view through this spoke wheel, plus there's a head-up display too. The comfort spec front seats will be trimmed with either Valcona or fine Napa leather and offer still unsurpassed levels of luxury in this class. They're crafted from a variety of carefully shaped flexible foam layers. Time to take a seat in the rear. Now what you'll find inside here depends on which of the rear seat packages you've chosen to specify. Standard models get a conventional 3-person rear bench. Now if you've gone for the long wheelbase body style, then the standard setup will give you a rear seat remote arrangement which is based around a fold down armrest which incorporates controls for operating the various climate control, seat and convenience functions. Plus, the package also incorporates a 5.7-inch OLED display. If you have a long wheelbase A8, the third option is the extra cost rear comfort pack we have fitted here, which offers 2 individual electrically adjustable seats separated by a proper center console, incorporating the aforementioned little OLED display, plus a pair of 10.1-inch HD screens mounted onto the front seat backs. Time to check out the boot, which rises electrically and can do so with a wave of your foot beneath the bumper if your chauffeur's taken the day off and you find yourself approaching the car laden down with bags. We were disappointed to find when we first tested this 4th generation model that despite the increase in body length, boot space has shrunk from the 520 litre total that you got with the previous model to 505 litres here. The plug-in hybrid version of this A8 demands a bit of luggage space compromise there. Capacity falls to just 390 litres, courtesy of the size of the battery residing beneath the floor. Audi built its reputation on technology and then fell back on stylistic design and cool marketing to sell its products. In its original form, this 4th generation A8 signalled a welcome change of direction, and this modestly improved version continues that evolutionary trend. Of course, there are always going to be those who'll prefer the heritage and elegance of a Mercedes S-Class or the slightly more dynamic demeanour of a BMW 7 Series. The A8 continues to be a rare alternative third option, but we can understand why you still might want one. In the latest versions of the BMW 7 and the S-Class, there's, to some extent, a feeling that technology has replaced elegance. That's a sense you just don't get with this Audi. And it's also worth pointing out that an A8 is considerably more affordable. True, Ingolstadt can't yet offer you the full electric options in the segment, which are now available at BMW and Mercedes dealerships, but the plug-in hybrid version of this A8 with its improved range may actually be all you really need in that regard. And at the other extreme, if all you want is a road-burning super saloon, a rival BMW and Mercedes model would struggle to fully replicate the driving pleasure of this top S8 variant. But is the A8 a car that you can bond with, a luxury conveyance to love as well as admire? Well, the answer depends, of course, on the owner. Some may still see this Audi as being a little remote compared to a status-conscious Mercedes or a proudly opulent BMW. We're guessing, though, that a small but significant number of boardroom buyers might now find this Audi a surprisingly complete all-round choice, were they to be minded to consider one. Hugely capable, innovative and beautifully built, this is in many respects the car that rivals always feared Audi would build. And if you're in this market, it's still one you need to try.